Dear students, this is the third session in your accounts from incomplete records. In this past two sessions, I have explained you about the double entry system, single entry system, what is meant by incomplete records. Small petty organizations, they will not maintain double entry system, hence they will follow incomplete records. Incomplete records is also called as single entry system. Why? Because in double entry system each transaction will be recorded twice, whereas in single entry system they will record only once. That is the difference between double entry system and single entry system. But tax authorities and others will not accept this single entry systems. Hence, it is mandatory that the organization which is following single entry system should convert this single entry system, should convert this incomplete records into double entry system. This is mandatory. Only tax authorities and Government of India will accept double entry system of bookkeeping. Hence, at the end of the year, it is mandatory that single entry system should be converted into double entry system. Hence, in this session, I'll teach you about how to convert the single entry system into double entry system. Children, many students in 12th standard, they will omit this exercise. They will think that it is very difficult, hence they will omit. I will teach you step by step. So please follow it. Please understand each and every step and assume why you are preparing these steps. Once if you are thorough with the concept, then the sums will be very easy. So now we will move on to the sums. Now, steps to be followed to converting single entry system incomplete records to final accounts. Step to be prepared in final accounts from incomplete records. What we are going to see? Steps to be followed to prepare final accounts from incomplete records. First step is opening statement of affairs. This I have already explained you in the last class. Statement of affairs is nothing but your balance sheet. It should be prepared to find out the opening capital. For what we are preparing the statement of affairs? To find out the opening capital. A newly started business, no need to find out the statement of affairs because the opening capital will be given in the question itself. The running organization should prepare opening capital to find out prepare statement of affairs to find out the opening capital. Step 2 is to find out the total debtors account and total creditors account. Step 2 is to prepare total debtors account and total creditors account. See, why we are preparing total debtors account is to find out the credit sales or closing debtors or any other missing figures. What is the purpose of preparing total debtors account? To find out credit sales, closing debtors and others. Then total creditors account need to be prepared. This total creditors account is prepared to find out the credit purchase, closing creditors or others. Next one is bills receivable account, bills payable account. Third step is to prepare bills receivable account and bills payable account. And last step is the preparation of trading account, profit and loss account and balance sheet. This is the final step. So statement of affairs is the balance sheet of incomplete records. So we are starting the sum with incomplete records, statement of affairs, whereas we are completing it with final accounts. This three is called as final accounts. So we are ending the chapter with final accounts. Final accounts, 3 steps is there in final accounts: trading account, profit and loss account and balance sheet. This is how a single entry system or incomplete records is converted into double entry system. And what are all the steps? There are 4 steps to be followed. One is statement of affairs. It is optional for the business which is started newly. This is option for the business which is started newly. Next one is total debtors account and total creditors account is mandatory, compulsory, it should be prepared. Next, bills receivable account and bills payable account is also optional. And finally, preparation of trading account, profit and loss account and balance sheet is compulsory. So these are all the 4 steps in converting the single entry system into double entry system. So this is the format of your total debtors account. Total debtors account resembles your ledger balance whereas your left hand side is your debit side and right hand side is the credit side. Before going to the account, let us learn who is a debtor. Debtor is the group of person to whom we have made credit sales. So credit sales, you know very well what is meant by credit sales. We will do sales now and we will collect the cash in the later period, which is known as credit sales. So debtors is the person to whom we made credit sales, which means that we have given the goods, whereas we will collect the cash later. Debtors is the person from whom we will receive cash, hence debtors is an asset item. In balance sheet, debtors will come in asset side because we will receive cash from the debtors. So your account starts with opening balance, sales. And children, please note that total debtors account, only credit sales will come in total debtors account. Cash sales will not come in total debtors account. So sales represent only your credit sales. Bank, bills receivable dishonor, checks dishonor, bills receivable dishonor on the debit side. And on the credit side, cash received, check received, discount allowed, sales return, bad debts, bills receivable, closing balance. So here it starts on the debit side with opening balance and ends on the credit side with closing balance. Now children, these are all the items which will come on total debtors account, but still if you just by heart this, you will not understand, for which I have an example so that you can understand the concept. So last year the due from total debtors is 10 lakhs, which means that we need to receive 10 lakhs amount from the total debtors. Last year closing balance is the opening balance of this year. So two balance brought down last year's closing balance, which is the opening balance of this year. We need to receive 10 lakhs from him. Now assume that we have made credit sales for 12 lakhs. Now what is the total amount due from the debtor is that it is 22 lakh. We have added the 10 lakh last year balance along with the credit sales. Now the total amount due from the debtors is 22 lakhs. Now we assume that the debtors have returned goods for 50,000 rupees. Sales returned. They may feel some defect in the goods and they have returned this 50,000. Now children, do you think that this 50,000 should be added? Definitely not. He will not pay amount for this sales returns. Hence, his balance we have to deduct this 50,000 rupees. Now, we will receive only 21 lakh 50,000 from debtors. Now, company is giving discount for the debtors. Company is giving discount for the debtors, say 50,000 rupees. Once discount is announced, that amount will not be paid by the debtors. So we will deduct that from the total debtors. Now the balance is 21 lakhs. Bad debts. Come to bad debts. Bad debts is the amount which cannot be recovered from the debtors. Bad debts is the amount which cannot be recovered from the debtors. The debts which cannot be recovered from debtors is called as bad debts. It may be of many reasons, maybe death of the supplier or any other reason. This 1 lakh will not come, hence we are deducting it. Now out of this 20 lakhs, debtors have paid 5 lakhs. Cash received from debtors is 5 lakhs. So we are deducting it. So 15 lakhs is the total amount which we need to pay from the which we need to receive from the debtors. Out of which the debtor have paid us a check. So it cost 3 lakhs. Hence we are deducting this 15 lakhs from 3 lakhs. Now the outstanding amount is 12 lakhs. Now come to bills receivable. Bills receivable is also like cash received. They will tell a date. Bills receivable, they will give a bill with a date and they will pay the amount on that due date. Hence it can be assumed as a cash received. So I have deducted from 12 lakhs. Now the balance is 10 lakhs. Now we have received a check for 5 lakhs. So we added it. If the check is dishonored, due to any reason, if the check is dishonored, then the account should be added, which means that I will intimate the debtors that the check which I have received, out of the check which I have received, 1 lakh is dishonored. So you pay me this 1 lakh again. So I will request the debtors to pay this 1 lakh again. So I will add this. I will not deduct this. I will add this. Now my outstanding amount is 11 lakhs. As the same, if bills receivable dishonored, they have given a bill on a date and they fail to pay that on that particular date, then the bills receivable will dishonored. Again, dishonor is the amount which the debtors has to pay me again. So I will add it. Hence, this 11 lakh 50,000 rupees is my closing debtors. At the end of the year, the outstanding amount from the debtors is 11 lakh 50,000. Now children, you would have understand how I have derived it. Clear? So this is the this is not a correct format. Just for the understanding purpose, I have explained all these things, out of which all the added items will come on debit side. What are all the added items? This one on debit side. Credit sales is on debit side. Bank check dishonor is on debit side. Bills receivable dishonor is on debit side. And all the less items, deducted items will come on the credit side. Credit, 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 bills receivable, credit, and closing debtors is on credit side. So this is what has been converted into a ledger format like this. Clear, children? So what are all the four items will come on the debit side is opening balance, sales, check dishonor, bills dishonor. And the items which will come on the credit side is cash received, check received, discount allowed, sales return, bad debts, bills receivable, and your closing balance. So by heart this format, and as I've already told you that accountancy is the subject which we are going to copy from the question paper. All the items which is given here will be given in the question paper. The only thing what you students to do is whether it will come on the debit side or on the credit side. This alone you have to remember. Everything will be in the question paper. All the items you no need to by heart even total debtors account. This too will be in the question paper. So think how easy accountancy is. Then now total debtors account. So you know how to prepare total debtors account. What is the purpose of preparing total debtors account in this conversion method is that either credit sales will be the missing figure or closing debtors will be the missing figure. Hence, for preparing the final accounts, both the credit sale and this closing balance is mandatory. So hence to find out this, we are preparing this total debtors account. Like the same, we need to prepare total creditors account. Now I'll explain you the total creditors account. Now, as how debtors is an asset item, creditors is a liability item. Why creditors is a liability item? Because creditors is the persons to whom we have purchased goods on credit. Creditors is the persons to whom we have purchased goods on credit, which means that we have purchased goods and we have to pay the cash later. As we need to pay the cash later, he is a liability for the organization. Hence, he will come on the liability side of the balance sheet, and it is also the ledger where it starts from the debit side on the left hand side and credit side on the right hand side. So their debit side items will come on the credit side in creditors account. So debtors account opening balance will come on debit side, whereas in creditors account opening balance will come on credit side. Credit purchase, check dishonor, bills payable dishonor. So what are all the items which is debited on the debtors account will be credited on the creditors account, whereas there it is sales, here it is purchase. So opening balance, credit purchase, check dishonor, and bills receivable dishonor. Only 4 items on the debit side, on the credit side, and on the debit side cash paid to the creditors, check issued to the creditors, bills payable, discount received, purchase return, balance carried down. Whereas these 2 items will be a discount allowed and sales return in debtors account. In creditors account it is discount received and purchase return, which means that these two amounts we have paid already, and these amounts we will not pay. We have received a discount, we have returned the goods, so these are all the amounts which we will not pay to them, and these are all the amounts which we need to pay to them, and this is the total creditors account. Now what you need to do is you have to write the total debtors account and total creditors account by heart where it will come, either on the debit side or credit side. Now we will move on to the final accounts. Final account consists of three parts: trading account, profit and loss account, and balance sheet. Children, you have studied this in 11th standard. This is the last unit in your 11th standard, and so many items are there in trading account and profit and loss account, whereas I picked the very important points which is relevant to this incomplete records converting method alone, and I have given you this, so you can write it in the notebook and preserve it for this unit alone. And trading account, your debit side starts with opening stock. It is not opening capital, it is opening stock. Purchases includes both credit purchase as well as cash purchase. Purchase returns, purchases less purchase returns. Purchase return can also be given as return outwards in the question paper. Direct expenses, wages, carriage inwards can also be given as carriage on purchase. So please don't get confused between the carriage on purchase and purchase outwards, purchase returns. So be thorough that these two items are different. Carriage can also be given as freight. So carriage on purchase can also be given as freight on purchases. And your credit side, sales less sales return. Sales return can even given as return inwards in the question paper by closing stock. And out of this, the balancing figure, if it comes on the debit side, it is gross profit, and if it comes on the credit side, it is gross loss. And gross profit will be carried down, brought down to the profit and loss account on the credit side. So balancing figure will come on the debit side, gross profit will come on the debit side in trading account, whereas we will brought down to the profit and loss account on the credit side. As the same, if the balancing figure is on the credit side, which means that it is gross loss, which will be brought down to the debit side of your profit and loss account. And the items which will come on the profit and loss account debit side is discount allowed, general expenses, carriage on sales can also be given as carriage outwards or freight outwards, advertisement expenses, depreciation, bad debts, provision for bad and doubtful debts, office rent, interest on bank loan. And on your credit side, discount receipt, commission received. Children, you can even refer your 11th standard book for the format of trading account, profit and loss account, whereas I have given only the important things which is relevant to this unit. And you can copy down this and you by heart this alone for this unit. And your last one is your balance sheet. Balance sheet is a statement, hence no to or by will come. And this side is your liability side and this side is your asset side. Liability side, capital, in the inner column, capital, add net profit, add additional capital introduced, less drawings, and what is the amount, you can put it on the outer column. Bank loan will come on the liability side and sundry creditors will come on the liability side. And children, keep one thing in your mind, that the balance sheet should be prepared only with the closing balance and not with the opening balance. In your question paper, both opening balance as well as closing balance will be given, whereas you should use only the closing balance to prepare this balance sheet. Asset side, cash in hand, cash at bank, closing stock, any asset, land and building, machinery, furniture, for any asset, depreciation may be given in the sum. So read the sum twice, and if depreciation is given, deduct it from that particular account. Sundry debtors, you are going to prepare sundry debtors account, whereas you will take the bad debts to sundry debtors accounts. Hence here Bad debts, you don't need to represent the bad debts. Only provision for bad and doubtful debts should be deducted from sundry debtors. And this is all a very important things, a recap of your final accounts. And now we will go to the full stretch sum. Now we will see this illustration. These are all the information of an incomplete record, which we are going to convert it into complete double entry system. From the following details of Abdul, who maintained incomplete records, prepare trading profit and loss account for the year ended 31st March 2018 and balance sheet as on date. Items, asset items is given. This is the opening balance and this is the closing balance. Now children, total debtors account. When you prepare total debtors account, you need opening balance and closing balance, which you have to take it from here. Total debtors account opening balance is 2,50,000, closing balance is 3,50,000. As well as sundry debtors opening balance is 1,50,000 and closing balance is 1,75,000. The other details given is drawings, discount received, discount allowed, cash paid to creditors, cash received from debtors, sundry expenses, capital as on 1/4/2017. Children, in this sum they have given the capital. So step 1, to find out the statement of affairs, we no need to prepare it because they have given the opening capital. So step 1, it's optional, no need to prepare. Why? Because in the question itself they have given the opening capital. Now step 2 is your total debtors account. Total debtors account, this side is opening balance and this side is closing balance. In this sum, both opening balance and closing balance is given. 2,50,000 opening balance, 3,50,000 closing balance. Now see where it is entered. Opening balance debit side 2,15,000, closing balance credit side 3,50,000. Cash received 20,000 rupees. Cash received 20,000 rupees. Sorry. Cash received from debtors 5,35,000. So by cash received from debtors 5,35,000. Discount allowed 25,000. By discount allowed 25,000. All the other items like bad debts, bills, check received, or this side dishonor of check, nothing is given in the sum. So only 4 items is given in the sum. You prepared it. Now find out the balancing figure. The balancing figure is the sales, credit sales. I've told you already that either closing balance will be the balancing figure or sales will be the balancing figure. In this sum they have given the closing balance, hence the balancing figure is your credit sales. That's all. Very simple. Total debtors account. As the same, now we need to prepare total creditors account. A total creditors account, opening balance is on credit side and closing balance is on debit side. Discount received, cash paid, both is given in the sum. Where it is given, see, sundry creditors opening balance 1,50,000, closing balance 1,75,000. It is written here as 1,50,000 and 1,75,000. Next, discount received will be given in the adjustment. Discount received 20,000 will be given in the adjustment, and cash paid to the creditors 4,50,000. The same written, cash paid to creditors 4,50,000, discount received 20,000. As closing balance is given in the sum, the balancing figure is your credit purchase. The balancing figure is your credit purchase. Now you need to prepare trading account. Trading account starts with opening stock, closing stock. Correct? Purchases, sales. See where the items will be stock. Question. Opening stock, closing stock 1,50,000 rupees. Okay. Sales, nothing is mentioned. So what you find out is the sales. 6,60,000 is the sales. So 6,60,000 sales. Opening stock 1 lakh, closing stock 50,000. Purchases What you find out here, 4,95,000 is your purchases. Gross profit is 1,15,000 rupees. So gross profit will be brought down to the credit side of your profit and loss account. Discount received 20,000. Discount allowed 25,000. Sundry expenses 30,000. Children, carefully listen here. Out of these items, drawings will go to capital account, balance sheet. Discount received, discount allowed will come. Cash paid to creditors and cash received to debtors will not come. Why? Because it is already included in the cash account. Hence, these two items will not come. Sundry expenses they have given 30,000 rupees, which will come on the profit and loss account. Now the balancing figure is your net profit 80,000. Balance sheet here, sundry creditors 7. Now you have to take the closing balance for balance sheet. Stock asset item, sundry debtors asset item, cash asset item, furniture asset item, sundry creditors is the liability item. So 1,75,000 is the liability item. All the other things as it is: cash 40,000, furniture 10,000, stock 50,000, debtors 1,50,000. Capital, if you find out the statement of affairs, then take it capital from that. In this they have itself given in the sum as 3,35,000 and drawings is given as 40,000. So 2 lakh capital 2,35,000, add net profit which is 80,000, you have to brought down from here, less drawings 40,000. So in the outer column 2,75,000 added, and that's all. Your sum is very simple, children. Try this illustration 17 sum, and you can try all the other sums with the format alone. If you know, you can try all the sums. And if you, in my next video I will explain you the complicated sums. So far with this illustration, how many sums you can try, you please try it. Thank you, children. All the best.